Toronto. Toronto is the business and financial capital of Canada, generates a big chunk of the country's GDP. It's often compared with other big financial capitals in the world like New York or London, or if here in the Philippines, you can compare it to Makati. It's usually where people in Canada would go to if they want to expound their careers or look for better job or career options for themselves. If you also do a quick Google search, you will definitely always see Toronto making the list as one of the best places to live or one of the most livable cities. In fact, right now we are also currently the number one fastest growing tech hub in North America. Before the pandemic in 2019, we generated about more than 80,000 tech-related jobs for that year alone. So it's really a growing city in terms of tourism. We're getting about 40 million every year. So it's also the financial capital. So there's really a lot of opportunities there. And in fact, considering that Ontario is already one of the most populous province, about half of the people living there are within the Greater Toronto area. Okay. Also, it's very culturally rich and diverse in Toronto. About half of the people living there are not born in Canada. Even in our college itself, we're known to be one of the most culturally diverse institutions in Canada. We have over 13,000 international students coming from over 150 countries since 2010. So you can really expect a lot of diversity. If you want to meet people coming from different backgrounds, different countries, that's something that's very easy to do while you are in Toronto. But if, of course, if you miss being with your fellow Filipinos, that's also very easy to do as well. About 8 to 10% of our international students are Filipino international students. I think Filipinos are our second or the third largest international student population in Centennial. Also, we are a designated learning institution. So while you are studying, you will be eligible to work part-time, 20 hours per week. If you're lucky enough to land a job inside the campus, you can also work full-time there. And even during scheduled breaks or your course semesters, you can also work full-time during those times. Okay, so now it's a scheduled break. And you pretty much can have an idea of how much you could earn while you are studying. You can feel free to compare it with the minimum wages here in the Philippines. In Ontario or in Toronto right now, it's about 14.25 Canadian dollars per hour, and you can work 20 hours per week. So you can already have an estimate of that. But of course, once you can already start working full time, there's going to be a lot more opportunities opening up to you. Similar here, usually you can definitely expect to earn even more than the minimum wage when you are already doing a full-time job. Take, for example, one of our students under the business school, the first job that she landed after graduating, it's the first full-time job she landed. While her studies, she was doing part-time jobs. But after she graduated, the first job she landed, it was already paying her about 30 Canadian dollars per hour. That's more than double the minimum wage. And it's opportunities like these that you can really expect to see eventually while you are in Toronto or in Canada. Okay. Also, if you plan to bring your spouse with you while you are studying, they can also work full time. So it's really one of the most beneficial thing to do is if you're gonna be bring your partner or your spouse with you while you are studying in Canada, and one of you will be studying, and the other one will be under an open work permit, so that one of you can work part time while studying, and the other one can work full time. Okay, so these are our campuses. All of them are within the Greater Toronto area. Our main campus is our Progress campus. So it's the home of our School of Business, Hospitality, Tourism, and Culinary Arts, and some of our Engineering and Applied Sciences program. You might have seen already a lot of this campus in the video I showed earlier. If you saw some of our culinary students who were cooking, they were actually cooking in our very own cafe and restaurants. but they are the ones who get to operate it while they are guided by our industry professionals or our professional chefs. And it's different from don't get confused with the cafeteria. It's different from the cafeteria. It's really a cafe and restaurant inside the campus, which where most of the students who are first visiting the college, this is usually where they get a chance to see some of the students there, and they get to experience, of course, the food that our culinary students get to prepare as well. And in this campus, we also have our guest suites and event centers for our other hospitality students to use. And pretty much you can expect the same level of quality of equipment and facilities that to use when you are already studying in a campus, whether your program is in engineering or in applied sciences or even in business. You can really expect Centennial to have the right facilities and equipment, and of course, the right mentors or professors for to teach you for that one. At our Progress campus, we also have our student residences. This is sort of like our dormitory where you can choose to stay in, but it's a bit more amazing than that. Just to give you a glimpse, um, there. It's pretty much what you get to enjoy if you decide to stay at our student residences. It's called Centennial Place, and you can visit the website at the link I showed in my previous slide here at centennial-place.ca, and you can really enjoy all these amazing amenities, facilities, and of course, you can really expect fully furnished rooms as well while staying here. Although it's a bit more expensive compared to other off-campus housing options. Here, it's gonna cost about 1,000 Canadian dollars per month per student, while for off-campus housing options, we will give you some references for that. And Gateway, I think Gateway can also assist you when it comes to looking for your accommodation. We also have a Facebook group where there are regular listings of places to stay in for international students. The last time I checked, I saw one for Oslo are about 350 or 400 Canadian dollars per month. I think those are one of the most affordable rooms available. You can expect the budget to be around 400 to 600 Canadian dollars per month. Of course, if you are able to find a good place to stay in that's really affordable, that would also be beneficial for you as well. Then again, a Centennial Place is also a good option to consider, especially in terms of convenience. It's really up to you whether you would prefer um, that kind of convenience or you would go for a more affordable place. There are also even affordable places that's still near the campuses, so you just really have to look or browse the options available. Even just in the Facebook group, you would already see a lot of options for you. And in our Story Arts Center campus is where we have majority of our creative programs. And if you have a creative passion that you want to pursue or turn into a career, you could definitely expect us to offer a lot of programs related to that here. So these are just some of the facilities that we have here as well. And some of the programs we have here includes fine arts, graphic design, photography, film, journalism. So really more on the creative side when it comes to those programs. And likewise, we have the right equipment and facilities for you to use as well during your studies. And our Ashtonby campus, where we have our School of Transportation. We used to have majority of our aviation aerospace programs here as well in the past. But before the pandemic, um, Canada was getting, Toronto was getting over 40 million tourists every year. And as a publicly funded college, regulated by the Ministry of Education, we try to do our best to meet the demands of the province or city where we are located in. We already had a lot of programs and seats to offer for our students under tourism and the business school as well overall, and even our engineering, since Toronto was already the fastest growing tech. But in our aviation, we saw that there was room for growth for the seats and classes we have to offer there. So we opened our newest campus in 2019, on the January of 2019. It's now open for most of our aviation aerospace programs. It's called the Downsview campus. The college heavily invested in this. And likewise, we always do our best to invest as much as we can into the quality of education that our students or international students will get to receive. We even have amazing industry partners, including Bombardier Aerospace, KF Aerospace, and Transport Canada, who helps us with our programs. Not only help us shape our curriculum, but even Bombardier provided us a CRJ 100 jet just for our students to use for their studies. And in our morning side campus, where we have our community and health studies, I always get a lot of inquiries here from the Philippines, especially for those with nursing backgrounds. And if you look at our website, you would see a lot of nursing programs actually, but we only offer those for domestic students. If you are in international students, usually what our students would do is take any of our other health programs available to international students, and then after they finish that program, eventually apply for a post graduation work permit, and then what during their post graduation work permit, they would eventually apply for permanent residence. And once they become permanent residents and they really still want to pursue nursing, that's the time that they enroll in our nursing programs, or even in other schools as well. Since you are already a domestic student, it would already be easier to secure a seat in a nursing program. Some of the options that our students often choose is our personal support worker program. But since it was so in demand, it already ran out of seats I think 3 to 4 weeks ago. So for January, we only have two other health related programs still available. It's our pharmacy technician and our office administration dash health services program. But don't worry, in September, we will be offering a lot more programs again for our students with health backgrounds. Okay. We are also the oldest and one of the largest publicly funded college in Ontario. So over the years, we were really able to develop our facilities like what you saw with the downstairs campus, the teaching and industry partnerships for our students. Okay. Industry partnerships is really important because these companies are the ones who help develop our curriculums, making sure that whatever we're teaching you is going to be relevant in the kind of work you're eventually going to have, especially if you get hired by these companies. And we currently have over 800 program advisory committee member organizations who help us develop the curriculums. Not only that, they're also important because they would be the ones to offer, or the ones that you could apply for an internship or placement with, or even a co-op. The main difference between a placement and a co-op is that a placement is already part of the curriculum, while co-ops are often optional. You have to first meet the requirements, and of course you have to apply for it as well. And usually co-ops are done during your supposed breaks. So where you can really already work for them. It's great that you would get the experience, and of course co-ops are definitely paid internships, and you can still work the 20 hours outside of it. But still, don't worry if your program does not have a co-op, because yeah, even in the time that we would be doing a co-op, it's usually where you can really already work full time. So don't it's a great opportunity to have a co-op, but don't worry if your program does not have one, because you can still potentially earn as much as those with the co-op. The only advantage is they could easily get absorbed in with the companies that they did their co-op with. Okay, because there's a lot of our students who eventually manage to land jobs in the company that they do their placements or their co-ops with. And some of these companies might be familiar to you. We have Google, we have Facebook here, Shopify. So just to name a few of our industry partners. Now, Ford is also here. Yeah. So we currently have over 160 full-time available to international students. You can check our website for full details, but to make things a lot easier, it would be best if you consult first with one of our partners, Gateway, since they already have an idea or understanding of what programs would be best for the students. Generally, when you choose a program, you can either choose one that's related to your educational background or your professional background, or a business that you or your family may have. You can apply pretty much for any program as Centennial as long as you meet the academic requirements, but still, it would be best to take something related to what you are already doing, because it would be a lot easier for you to get a study permit approval and to explain why you want to learn more about that particular industry or field. I'm just going to highlight a few of the programs. Here are the top 30 programs for international students. You would see that we really get a lot of students for our hospitality programs. Number one is our hospitality dash hotel operations management program with almost 1,300 student enrollment in just January 2019. You would also notice that the programs here are mostly under the hospitality, business, and engineering and applied sciences, mainly because we offer a lot more seats in these programs. For health programs, they are really in demand, especially here in the Philippines, but we have limited seats. So it would really be best, as always, to apply as soon as you can, so that you can easily secure a seat and you have in more than enough time to apply for the study permit. And if ever you get a refusal, hopefully not, you still have time to reapply for it. And usually our students manage, since you would already know what the reasons why you get a visa refusal, it's a lot easier as well, usually during the second time around. Okay. In terms of program delivery, right now our programs are delivered online or hybrid, but with plans to go back to face to face. And they are still eligible for PGWP, even if you take the first few semesters online. But still, we are a designated learning institution with an approved COVID-19 readiness plan. So whether it's online or hybrid, you can already travel to Canada as part of the exemption if you are enrolled in Centennial College. Also, for 7 years in a row already, we have been the number one college choice of international students studying in Canada. By number one choice, I mean we have the most numbers of international student enrollments, rather than as compared with any other colleges in the country. You can definitely try to compare it and look at the enrollment data. You will definitely always see Centennial as the one with the most number of international student enrollments, primarily because about half of our full-time student population are international students, and we really dedicated a lot of teams and departments to ensure that the journey of the international student is really smooth and they really get to enjoy the learning experience as well. Uh, to start, if you look at the countries where we get most of our students in, we definitely have offices in those countries. Here in the Philippines, we have an office in Makati, just across Greenbelt 3. It's in Corinthian Plaza, the one with the Rolex building. We are in the garden level. But right now, I'm still working from home. So unfortunately, I haven't been to the office for almost a year now. But hopefully soon I can get back to the office. And of course, you guys can feel free to visit me there. And even once you arrive in Canada, we still have a lot of departments really there to help our international students. We have the Employment Resource Center who can help you look for part-time or full-time jobs. We have the International Advising Team who can help you with any study permit concerns except for the visa application. That's why we have Gateway for that. They're the ones who can help you. We are not authorized to help with that. And but once you are there, we have immigration consultants who can already help you with the rest. Um, like for example, you need to extend your study permit, you need to apply for PGWP or PR. They do provide workshops, and you can book a consultation with them regarding that. It's definitely free. It's just one of our ways to support our international students, even with your academics. We have success advisors who can help you if you're struggling academically. They can help you form study groups and help you. You guys can help each other when it comes to the subjects you're having a lot of trouble with. So this kind of support system is what our international students have, and why we have been always recommended by most of our international students to their usually to their relatives or someone that they may know that also wants to study in Canada, and why we have been continuously the number one choice of international students. even for Filipino international students, we have been number one for quite some time now. About 25% of the Filipino international students studying in Ontario chooses to study at Centennial College. So we also get the highest number of Filipino international students. We currently have over 1,300 Filipino international students enrolled. And for this September intake, I already received over 1,500 applications from the Philippines alone. So you can definitely expect to see a lot of our fellow kababayans there, but they're not really the biggest. They're about 10% of the international student population. Requirements, a gateway can also help you with this. And the main thing that to keep in mind is that we are already waiving IELTS for students that studied here in the Philippines. Even if you're not Filipino, as long as you studied in the Philippines, high school and college, we can waive the requirements for you. Just present a certificate of English as a medium of instruction from both your high school and your college. It's just a letter indicating that your subjects were taught in English coming from your school, and we can already waive the requirement for you no need to take IELTS, except for one particular program. It's our pharmacy technician program, since it's regulated by NAPRA and they still require you to take IELTS. We also don't have any application fees, and we're one of the fastest in terms of issuing LOAs. We issue LOAs in just 2 to 3 business days if you already have the full documents with you. Tuition be pretty much the same across all of our full-time programs. It's about 16 to 17,000 Canadian dollars to for or 16 to 18,000 Canadian dollars for 1 year or 2 semesters. So whether it's certificate, diploma, a 1 year program or a 2 year program, it's about 16 to 17,000 Canadian, 16 to 18,000 already, sorry, Canadian dollars for 2 semesters. You don't have to pay for the 1 year in full yet. We only require the students to pay at least the initial deposit, which is 2,650, and you can already receive your LOA. But about a month or two before, or 2 months, at least 2 months before your intake starts, you have to settle your fees already. I think it's already 2 to 3 months before now. You have to settle the balance for the first semester because you can't register for your classes and build your timetable if you haven't settled your fees yet. Even looking at the International Student Barometer survey, which is a global benchmark for international student experience, it's really amazing that we got these results. Take note that these results came from 4,596 international students currently enrolled in the college. And as you can see, they're pretty happy and satisfied with their studies, the learning spaces, the laboratories as well. And you can really expect to have an amazing learning experience with Centennial College, even with the key performance indicators, which is done by the government. We have consistently ranked as the #1 college in the Greater Toronto Area for both employer and student satisfaction. So this means our students are happy with the quality of education that they receive, and our industry partners or the employers are happy with the students we send their way. Also, another bonus for Filipino international students, we have a partnership with Philippine Airlines. Although I'm still waiting for the response to extend this for next year. This one is still for the upcoming intake in September. Just email, but to receive a discount fare from them, just email pal_corporate at pal.com.ph and just send them your study permit approval and your LOA, and they can already give you a promo code that you can use for your booking in the Philippine Airlines website. Your spouse and dependent can also avail this. Just have them send a proof of relationship. And of course, that's last but not least, let's also hear it from the Filipino international students still studying or have graduated at Centennial College.
I'm a registered practical nurse here in Canada, but I also work part-time as a PSW, personal support worker. Centennial College has helped me in many ways. It has helped me improve my communication and my people skills as well. staff and professors are really approachable. You can really feel their sincerity in helping the students and making each student succeed in life. I met a lot of people online. They're asking questions about how to get to Canada as a student. I am really happy that we have an office in Manila to cater those who are interested in coming here as a student. Canadians in general are very nice, friendly, and happy people. And also, people here just love to celebrate. And I think that's one way that Filipino people can relate to very much because here celebrations are everywhere.
I graduated from Community and Child Studies Foundations with honors, I'm proud to say. And now I am on my third semester of early childhood education program. Canada is a country that embraces diversity. Everybody's culture and tradition is being celebrated.
I'm currently working as a junior accountant in a tax accounting firm. I really recommend Centennial College as an institution here in Canada, especially in Toronto. They have a lot of facilities that can help you develop your skills, abilities, not just focus in studying. Actually, I had a hard time choosing for my program. They offered a lot of good programs that will make you experience way beyond your profession or way beyond your skills.
I've always wanted to study abroad. It has been my dream to come to Canada. I came to study at Centennial College because my sister came here and she got the job that she wanted with the help of Centennial College. While I was a student, I volunteered at the business school where I got to develop my skills and confidence and developed a good relationship with my teachers. I also got to work with the field placement officer at the business school. We were able to create the field placement app for the students and employers to use throughout their field placement journey. I have gained so much confidence with myself, and I got a job from my placement, which is a part of my program here at Centennial College.
For those aspiring students, welcome to Canada and welcome to Centennial College.
I'm looking forward to seeing more Filipinos to come here, to get to live here, to study here, and make this their own home away from home.